So we're done with the first step, which is choosing the research problem. And then step two is choosing the research design and methodology. Now we are on step three. This is on theory and hypothesis. Research is usually done to test a certain theory or a certain hypothesis. Some might think that a theory and a hypothesis are the same, but they're actually two different things. Now, a theory is a systematized body of ideas used for the explanation of phenomenon. A theory is basically an explanation tool. You should remember, however, that a theory is not the same with the law. A theory has its limitations because it is context bound. It means that a theory may be correct in one instance and wrong in another. I'm sure you have heard of the theory of evolution by Charles Darwin, saying that we have descended with modification from common ancestors. That is a theory and not a law. It may be correct in one instance and wrong in another. That is why a theory is tested through research to know how powerful the explanation of a theory is. Again, a theory has its limitation. Another example is the dependency theory. What? Again, we say that a theory has its limitations. Another example is a theory from the Marxist lens, which is dependency theory. It is a theory that explains why most of the countries in Latin America were underdeveloped. But it lost its explanatory power when the East Asian miracle happened. There were countries like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia who experienced dramatic economic boom. But specifically, four of them, Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea, and Hong Kong, they experienced that economic boom even though they were dependent on the aid of core states. So this is the reason why it is important to test theories because they are bounded by time, place, and environment. The dependency theory might be right during the 60s, but not in another context. A hypothesis, on the other hand, is usually defined as the tentative intellectual guess of the researcher. So, this is the claim of the researcher. It serves as a guide for the researcher since a hypothesis must be proven or disproven. And we have two types of hypotheses. We have the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is stated negatively, and the alternative hypothesis is stated positively. Say, for example, you want to study the significant difference between the academic performance of males and females in accounting, then your null hypothesis, which is stated negatively, can be presented this way. There is no significant difference between the academic performance of males and females in accounting. But if it is an alternative hypothesis, it is stated positively, then you may present it this way. There is significant difference between the academic performance of males and females in accounting. Usually, the researcher would start from the null hypothesis and then thus research to prove or disprove the claim. Now, using statistical analysis, if proven, then the researcher would accept the null hypothesis. Otherwise, meaning if it is not proven, then the researcher must go with the alternative hypothesis. But whatever the case is, the researcher should be, but whatever the case is, the researcher should be able to explain why such a result came out. However, we should remember that not all research are done to test a theory or test a hypothesis. There are also research done to build theories, and this is sometimes known as grounded theory. This one will be discussed in our future videos. Again, theories and hypotheses may be related, but they are not the same. Theories don't need statistical analysis to be proven, but the hypothesis needs statistical analysis to be proven or disproven. And hypothesis is more common in quantitative research, while theories are more common in qualitative research. But still, this is our step 3 because we have to start with the research problem, and then second is the research design and methodology.